Start this morning, live pictures out on the east side where we are unfortunately on the scene of breaking news. We've learned that one person is dead as police are investigating two shootings on the east side. We've been checking in with Anna Chalker for the last couple hours, and she's talking with police to help connect the dots of where and why they're investigating. So we'll check back in with her in just a few minutes. It is 6 o'clock on your Friday morning. We're glad you're up with us here on 13 Sunrise. Hope that you had a nice restful week or just some time together with family.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, like you mentioned earlier, we might have to work on a Friday, but then we're back to the weekend, which we like to hear.
I don't think Christmas being on a Thursday is such a bad thing at all. Maybe work a little bit today and you're good.
Then it's back to playtime.
Yeah.
The weather hasn't really changed very much this week. It's been warm, but it's been kind of cloudy. You probably noticed that, and foggy morning after morning. It's another one of those mornings. I want to show you where some of the thickest fog is with our visibility reports coming in. Down to less than a quarter mile in Indianapolis, Greensburg, Seymour, and in Greencastle. What we've been watching is this wave of some dense fog gradually expand to the north and east. So earlier this morning, we basically had perfect visibility from Richmond to Muncie, at least at the airports. I know once you get out, in different parts of the county, it's a little bit different. But over time, we're watching the visibility drop in Newcastle and Anderson and also in Richmond. So we're watching as this warm front pushes to the north and east. It allows a little bit more humidity to come in to be used to create fog. And so the fog is thickening out there this morning. So watch out for some low visibility as you are headed out the door. You can really see it thickening up right now in Carmel. And it's not just fog. We do have some patchy mist and drizzle out there this morning in Noblesville, Indianapolis. Connorsville doing a little bit better right now. Live look, beautiful skyline of Indianapolis. You can't see anything. We're down below a quarter mile right now in the city. It's 47 degrees. We have some mist out there. 40s to the north for the most part. It's 44 in Noblesville, 45 in Carmel and Fishers, and 43 in Richmond. Farther to the south from Martinsville to Bedford and Seymour, we do have some 50s. And warmer air, that 60 in Bloomfield, will spread north throughout the day. I'll have that timeline for you. Plus, we'll take a closer look at a bigger storm system out west in California, and when rain, thunderstorms, and snow will all be in the forecast thanks to that one. But let's touch on traffic this morning as you're headed out the door. It's a gloomy start. It's a gray start, dreary start. You're trying to figure out your windshield wipers this morning just because the mist is so fine and patchy. The interstates are looking fine. I do have a quick crash report off the interstate there on the south side over in the Beech Grove area, but nothing really impacting traffic this morning. Live look in Bloomington where the fog is very thick this morning. And then let's get off the interstate. This is a live look in Lebanon. Good morning for the Tigers. Looks kind of eerie out there this morning in Boone County. Watch out for some of that fog. Julia?
All right, thank you, Matt. As we share with you, we're following a couple of breaking news stories this morning where we know at least one person is dead and police are investigating two separate shootings, it seems like.
This happened around 2:30 this morning on Rule Street between East Michigan and East 10th Street. This has been quite the complicated scene for police to work out this morning. So Anna Chalker has been there. She's been checking in with police to learn more. Anna, what do you know so far?
Well, Sam, like you said, complicated to say the least. What we have and what we know from police this morning, there were two separate shootings where 3 people were shot. A man was killed in that first scene, and that one's here behind me at North Rural and Michigan Streets. Like you just said, the scene is actually kind of starting to clear up from what we saw just about a half hour ago. I will tell you, there is some evidence still in the road. We are going to, hopefully, once the scene clears, gets closer to see kind of what's in the middle of the road. Police are now on the backside of this scene right now, and they tell us when they came up on this scene while trying to respond to a separate incident, they found a large fight with multiple people. When that fight broke up, that's when police found a man who was shot lying in the ground. They say he was taken to the hospital in critical condition, then later died. And they also say a man left this scene with a handgun and led police on a small car chase up onto I-70. That's where they detained him. He is being questioned right now this morning. And while the investigation was getting started here on Rule Street, police say an uninvolved car came up to this scene with 2 people who were shot, a man and a woman. Both of them were taken to the hospital in critical condition. And we know this is a lot of information this morning, and that's why police are saying they need help from this community out here to find out what happened in both of these scenes.
And when we're working through some of those details, we want to emphasize that we need help from the community. We need anybody that may have been in this area, that may have been involved in any of these disturbances, whether they've since left, whether they have video footage, eyewitness footage. We need to hear from you.
And you can reach out to police if you have any of that information at Crime Stoppers. That number 317-262-TIPS. But back here live at rural and Michigan streets this morning, scene starting to wrap up for that first scene where a man was shot and killed here. And then, like we said, a separate shooting where a man and a woman drove up here from another person at a different scene. Police trying to confirm if these two scenes are connected or not. But again, a lot of unknown information right now, active investigations for both of these. But as we get more information on that, we'll bring that to you.
Yeah, imagine that's not what neighbors want to wake up to. This has been the scene there for several hours as police are still working through whatever happened here. Thank you, Anna.
Also this morning, we just got an update from IMPD about a fatal hit-and-run crash on the far west side.
We now know that it was a pedestrian that was struck and killed. This crash happened just after 1:30 this morning on Girls School Road near Rockville Road. Take a look at this map. You can see that's where the fatal crash happened, just west of I-465.
Police just confirmed that person hit was a woman. Like we said, she was walking along Girls School Road when an SUV traveling northbound hit her. They say she was taken to the hospital in critical condition, but later died. That suspect then, according to police, took off.
It was tips that police say helped them find the suspect's SUV a few miles north on Beachway Drive near 10th and 465. No one was in the car, though, so it was later towed away for evidence. So IMPD is still asking for more tips to help them find that driver. You can call the non-emergency line there on your screen.
This morning, the Indianapolis Fire Department is now investigating 4 Christmas house fires.
One of those sent 6 people to the hospital and killed 2 pets. And the 911 audio tells us how neighbors really worked hard to get the family out. Take a listen.
The whole front of a house is on fire.
I think fire is on the front porch.
Okay.
We have a major house fire.
It's really bad.
And there were dozens of calls just like that into dispatch from neighbors or people that were driving by and saw the fire. This is around 9:15 on Beechwood Avenue on the city's east side.
The grandmother there told IFD she woke up to smoke alarms, the smell of smoke, and saw the front porch was on fire and it was getting bigger to the second floor.
Everybody able to get out?
We're trying. Oh, they're in the backyard.
They're in the backyard.
In the backyard.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
So while people were trying to get that family out, the father realized his 5-year-old was still inside. He ran upstairs, found him in a bunk bed, and was able to get them out of that burning home.
2 children and 4 adults were taken to the hospital and 2 pets didn't survive. As of yesterday evening, the 2 dogs were unaccounted for. And the cause of that fire is still under investigation, but the department is thanking those neighbors and the dozens of people driving by that called in and stepped up to get them some help in time. A man is in serious condition this morning after this fire yesterday morning on the near northwest side. This is what's left of this home after firefighters say there was a 62-year-old man using a Coleman stove on his bed to cook breakfast, and then the bedding caught fire. It was around 8:15 that morning on 34th Street, not too far from MLK Drive. The man was hurt while he was trying to put out the fire, but we learned that 5 dogs that were in the home made it out okay, and they are doing fine this morning.
Your time is 6:07. This morning we are working to learn what led to a deadly crash on the east side of Indianapolis. This happened around 2:45 Christmas morning near 38th and Mithofer. Police tell us at least 1 person died. The IMPD fatal crash team is now looking into what caused that wreck.
A mother is still pleading for answers this morning, trying to bring her 16-year-old son home. He's been missing for a while now.
Yeah, no one's seen him in over a week. So take a look. This is RJ Williams. Police say he could be in extreme danger and need medical help this morning. Police released these pictures of RJ, which were taken from security video in the area where he was last seen. That was last Wednesday. This was along Broad Ripple Avenue near North College.
Police say they found his backpack and his gym bag on a dock near the White River the next day. His mom says she is concerned this morning and wants you to come forward if you have any helpful information that could bring him home. In a sad update that we've learned this morning, a 15th person has died 7 weeks after that deadly UPS plane crash in Louisville.
The mayor of Louisville announced that death yesterday on social media. He says Elaine Rodriguez Colina suffered severe injuries at the time of that crash, and then later died. The plane crashed shortly after taking off from that airport. That was back on November 4th. The 3 pilots on board that plane and 11 people on the ground died that day.
A preliminary report from the NTSB says that critical hardware to keep the left engine attached to the plane failed, and that's what caused the crash.
Also this morning, anyone who has ever worked on Christmas Day knows it's not always the best way to spend the day.
Yeah, but one restaurant in Brownsburg is challenging that because of how they use the day's profits. The owners of Rockstar Pizza have a pretty special tradition. Every cent they make goes to employees who sign up and volunteer to work on this day.
This is so cool. Employees say it's one of the busiest nights of the year, actually. In just 4 hours, they made around 200 pizzas. Customers say it's a good way to give back to the business that already does so much for the community.
We do it every year. The owners are super involved in the community, and we think that's great. So we always try to give back to the employees, and I don't have to cook, so it's a win-win.
It sure is, and it's safe to say this was a huge success again this year. The restaurant announced before 7 that it actually had to stop taking orders so workers could catch up. Kudos to them.